Alrighty, welcome into Chalk Talk Social. It is Tuesday, January 13th, and once again in the playoffs, the Packers absolutely ripped my soul straight out of my body. Not many things get me to go mute, but I caught myself pretty late in the night realizing I hadn't spoken a word for about 2 hours after the game. It was concerning. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't want to say anymore. I want to act like it didn't happen. I almost rather have just not even been in the playoffs and had to watch what I had to watch and go through
it. Happened. It happened.
I want to. It feels like a bad dream that I just still haven't woken up from. We'll obviously get so much more into it all and many other things around the wild card and what went down. But hey, how are you doing, man? What's going on with you, Iman?
Oh, you already know. Starting all the week. About my money. About my biz. Hey, me and you are out the playoffs. So there it is. What's funny though is as much as people are calling for Matt LaFleur's job, I don't see why that's a him thing. Players had to play. And it's a few moments in that game where I was like, y'all can't put this on the coach. Like, listen, y'all got to play. And granted, I do think in playoffs or regular games, when coaches get big leads, they kind of get conservative. But that's just trying to move the game on. But to me, that wasn't a Matt LaFleur thing. That was come on, defense. Come on, defense. That's the defensive thing.
Well, like I said, we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
When you're holding the ball, I can't. These thoughts of all. It's when you have the ball for like 45 seconds of drive, it becomes a numbers game. Eventually, your defense is going to break. The Packers were holding the ball for 45 seconds of drive in the second half because Matt LaFleur couldn't do anything besides run the ball up the middle for 0 yards every single first down. He stopped passing until he needed to pass. And I think the bigger problem with the offense is the offensive line was terrible. Rasheed Walker, left tackle, was getting cooked. Plays could not develop. They couldn't even start to develop. Jordan Love was having to move around and missing guys because he was trying to just avoid getting sacked as he gets the ball in his hands. And so the problem is you were not holding on to the ball. And you were giving Chicago a gajillion, billion chances to score points.
But
it became a numbers game. It just became a numbers game.
That's everybody's game plan. Close the game with running. You have
it's not closing the game. It's the start of the second half. What the hell are you doing to start the third quarter with the ball up 21-3?
That's what everybody's doing. Back. I just don't think
demons are coming back.
I don't think that's a Matt LaFleur thing, though. I think y'all should kind of, because I looked at it this whole weekend. People was really at him, and I'm like, shit.
He runs the ship, though. He runs the ship. There was a lot of really poor, mismanaged play call. There's a lot of terrible mismanagement, timeout usage, and when you're coming off of a break and you have to go straight to a timeout. It's classic vintage LaFleur. I saw a stat today that LaFleur led the NFL in most unnecessarily used timeouts on offense. Timeouts being called with no rush, no need. He led the NFL in timeouts called when it was an entirely unnecessary moment, and it showed yet again he's notorious for poor game management. It's something the Packers just cannot shake with whatever head. It was the same thing with McCarthy. They can't shake poor game management with their head coaches, man. It reared its head again.
One thing I had to be one with is when you lose, you try to find all the excuses instead of looking at. I'm listening to people talk about Nick Sirianni getting fired. Like, what? Did y'all not look at? And granted, we'll get into it, but I'm thinking, do people look at the games? Y'all blaming coaches? You can't. It's just everybody that lost. People want to jump to the coaches, and I'm like, are y'all not looking at the games? The playoffs, to me, players got to play. I'm just being, your game plan leading up to this. It's been the game plan all year. It's not like Matt LaFleur, Nick Sirianni, and the Eagles and everybody. They ain't did nothing different. Now you got to execute. You have to take advantage of opportunities, and you just got to close games out. I think that's. I just think people blaming coaches is kind of weak because I looked at a lot of bullshit from players on 4th and 8. It's 3 guys in the area, and y'all let fucking Caleb just throw. But anywho, let's get to it.
Yeah. All right, it's Tuesday. You know what that means. I'm gonna get this first one on my way off my chest. Top 10 and 10 on a Tuesday. Let's get into it. Number one, to kick it off, why don't we just stay on the topic of this fucking mess? The Packers collapsed in the most epic of proportions, and that stole the weekend. They lost to the Bears in the rubber match, 31-27, and, maybe it was a changing of the guard game in this rivalry, but my God, they were up 21-3 at half. Ben Johnson was uncharacteristically reckless in this one on fourth downs. They went 2 for 6, and just 2 fourth down attempts in their own field on their own side of the field in the first half that were just stupid play calls. Like, clearly this guy was on the same coaching staff as Dan Campbell. Look, Jordan Love was incredible, man. He became the third quarterback in playoff history with 4 tutties, no picks, and losing the game. He should have had a fifth. His fifth was, Christian Watson kind of had a bitch attempt at the goal line to go up and get it. He went up with one hand, could have went up with two, maybe catch the ball. It was like Steve Young to T.O. It was the exact same looking thing. T.O. goes up with both hands, catches it, touchdown. Watson goes up with one hand, doesn't reel it in. I was on the game-winning drive, and that was right after Jaden Reed dropped the ball that hit him right in the hands that would have put Packers in the red zone as well. So Packers once again just pissed down their leg like they do every single year or every single big moment. Special teams misses 3 goddamn field goals, and of course it comes back to haunt them. I personally don't even think it should have been a factor. Never should have got to that point. You're up 21-3. Missed field goals should never have been a factor. With the lead you had, the momentum you had, shouldn't even come down to missed field goals if you just had a fucking killer instinct on offense to actually play the game in a whole complete game. Like I said earlier, the O-line just stopped blocking. They stopped passing. They couldn't hold on to the ball for more than 45 seconds. Caleb Williams and the Bears didn't do anything special. They just threw at Colson Loveland because the worst coverage middle linebacker we've seen in a decade was covering him the whole game in Quay Walker. And the guy was just, they called the same play so many times and it was wide open every time. It was all bad, man. Like, I am just, all the rage is coming so far back. They went as conservative as possible, as soon as possible to start that second half with the ball. It was just, to me, it was one of the worst halves of football you will ever see. And James Jones, former Packer, even said it after the game. Like, I don't know how you let Matt LaFleur back in the locker room and stare those men in the face after that game. But what's number 2?
Number 2, the Rams pull off a squeaker. Who would have thought, against the Carolina Panthers, who came to play that day, but couldn't pull it out. Lost 34-31. Matt Stafford needed a late drive, touchdown pass to Parkinson. And, I mean, it was the defensive game, but Matt Stafford played the Matt Stafford game, going 24 for 42, 304 yards, 3 TDs, and that was after he got an injured hand. I mean, is he not playing some of the best ball of his life? Puka Nacua also had another 100-yard game. I'm starting to believe what y'all said earlier about this guy. It's like, can anybody stop him? It's like he's not fast, he's not slow. He's big, but they needed a defense to stop because Carolina had the ball with a drive to go. And, I mean, it was 4 downs, 0 yards. So the defense won the game. I don't know, Rams. You looked a little shaky. This might be the end of the road if y'all play like this next week. But pulled it off. McVay's still one of the greatest just offensive minds through it. We'll see if the Panthers can take this type of energy into next year and become a contender. I doubt it because Bryce Young is good. He just doesn't do it for me. I just think his ceiling is like right here, and I think he's actually at it. So this may be the most that they can do with him, but we'll see. But anywho, Rams pulled off the win first week. We called it, though.
Hey, yeah, everyone thought they would win, but it was a close one. Hey, next up, Josh Allen and the Bills. They actually win a road playoff game. First time in 33 years that they have done so. The Bills surprisingly had a full, complete team performance in this one. Instead of just relying on Josh Allen to be Superman and James Cook to run through the bottom of his shoes, the defense showed out. The offensive line blocked their ass off. The defense had 9 passes, defended this one. They had 2 interceptions, including the interception to seal it on the Jags' attempt of a game-winning drive. Like I said, the O-line kept Josh Allen upright all game, and he was absolutely surgical. He went 28 for 35 for 273 passing yards. And when he was trailing in this one, oh boy, 14 for 16. 195 total yards, 3 total touchdowns, and 133 rating. And once again, Josh Allen remains the most inevitable, impossible to keep down quarterback in the sport. Huge team win for the Bills. They might got a chance to keep this going now. If this is what they're gonna do every week, they might do it. They might finally do it. What's next?
Oh, another game that went down to the wire. I mean, what a great fucking weekend of football. I'm just being honest. I've been excited all weekend, but another game that went down to the wire. Bang, bang. Niner gang got the win 23-19 over the defending champs, Philadelphia Eagles, where it was a defensive battle through the whole game. Brock Purdy, people can say what they want to say about him. He's going to make some mistakes. He's going to do some things that make you be like, what was that? But when the game mattered, he made some passes to who I don't even know. Demarcus Robinson. No, let's be clear. Nobody is expecting that guy to be anything. Jawan Jennings making an elite throw to CMC on a reverse pass. I mean, Kyle Shanahan pulled out all the stops. But to me, I think Brock Purdy just was late in the game real good. And now I do say this. A lot of flack I give Jalen Hurts. A lot of people give Jalen Hurts. No, he didn't have the greatest game, but I didn't expect him. I don't expect him to be this guy that everybody else says he is, but you cannot blame him. Mr. A.J. Brown did all that, talking shit about the offense, talking shit about Jalen Hurts. Buddy, you got butter on your hands. I mean, you had a couple crucial drops in that game. And even on the last drive, I want to expand on this later, because a coach that does need to get fired is the offensive coordinator. Not Nick Sirianni, but the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator. He was getting paid. He had to be getting paid. But anywho, bang, bang, Niner game moves on. Next round, we'll see which Kittle. Oh, my God. This might be the end of his career. I hate to see it. Yeah, I hate to see it. So we're praying for him that he can get a fast recovery. But at his age, it's going to be hard to come back. And at his position, it's not like he's Aaron Rodgers just sit in the pocket.
No.
He may not make a recovery. So we'll see how the Niners finish the playoffs without their best player.
All right, next up, keeping it rolling with football, the Patriots defense has its way with the Chargers. They win 16-3, no touchdowns allowed. Look, I mean, Drake May had an uncharacteristically lame duck performance. He led the game in rushing with 66 yards, and that ended up being really the difference maker, is him using his legs rather than like his normal arm talent. He did make a great throw in the game that mattered a lot. But look, the Chargers were a top third down defense in football this year, and they were stuffed to 1 for 10 in this game. The Patriots defense forced 2 fumbles. Justin Herbert was held to his second lowest QBR of the entire season. And Justin Herbert, man, playoff struggles continue. A lot of folks look to him because he's the quarterback, but oh boy, is that offensive line just terrible. Greg Roman, the OC, terrible. So Justin Herbert joins an elite crew of quarterbacks who have started their playoff career 0-3, such as, Matt Ryan, Andy Dalton. If you kick it back to the 1998, I think you can throw in Peyton Manning to this mix. So maybe there's still hope that this turns around. But hey, man, clock's ticking on Justin Herbert. Jawan Jennings has now as many playoff passing touchdowns as Justin Herbert with 2. Justin Herbert up to 7 interceptions, I believe. No, 7 turnovers, and he's 0-3. Man, that's a tough start, and gonna have some things to address and shake off for next season if he wants to start biting off these ankle biters around his narrative. What's next?
Number 6, Lane Kiffin has got his signal caller, the number 1 player in the transfer portal, Sam Leavitt, who left Arizona State, where their coach was begging and pleading donors, give me the money. We need more money to keep him. They weren't able to keep him. Lane Kiffin, who knows how much they paid him, but this is the number one guy coming out of the portal. 2 years, 34 passing touchdowns, only 9 interceptions. And Lane Kiffin was stalking this guy like a baddie on Instagram, trying to get him at the airport. I mean, but in this era of football, he's looking at the teams that are playing for a national title. His team that was playing for a national title, you need a signal caller. You need an elite guy under the center. You look at Mendoza. You look at Carson Beck, guys with experience. So he's trying to get to that spot, and what better to do it with the number one guy in the portal. So we'll see if he's going to be the difference in LSU. We'll see. And they already, let's be clear, a lot of people is following Lane Kiffin, which I don't know why, but they're already adding 25 players in the portal. So we'll see what they do. I'm not a fan of this portal game and building rosters like that, but we'll see if LSU can win it all next year with the number one guy and all the guys they brought in.
Yeah, number one transfer portal class as well. Like they're doing it. All right, keep it in college football. We got the college football championship is set between Miami and Indiana, and for all the problems that the college football playoff format has, this is most definitely the best possible game right now. Right now, with how these teams are playing, Iman's shaking his head, but I think this is the best game possible with what these teams have been putting down the field. In one corner one, you got the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers, one of the single greatest seasons in college football history, a team full of 22 and 23-year-old 2- and 3-star recruits with the first overall pick in the draft and Mendoza at quarterback. All of them playing outside of their skull right now, thanks to mastermind Curt Cignetti pulling the strings of the whole operation. And again, this team has just been far and away. Beat the brakes off of Oregon with presumably the number 2 quarterback pick. They racked up. You got Cignetti, who doesn't even smile, laughing on the sidelines. They're beating him up so bad. And we're talking about a college football semifinal game. So they're just the clear favorites to win everything. I think they're a touchdown favorite right now. In the other corner, you got the Miami Hurricanes bringing in the single sweatiest man in the building, Michael Irvin, and his leather. No one predicted we'd be seeing this many Gatorade coolers getting assaulted on a weekly basis, but it's been the belts to ass tour for Miami. They got the nastiest punch you in the mouth trenches on both sides of the ball in college football. We know where games are won and lost in the trenches. So, and then got a heavily scrutinized coach in Cristobal, just proving everybody wrong right now. They got a quarterback who is just totally rejuvenated his draft stock in Carson Beck. The brighter the lights have been getting in the playoffs, the more he's been doing, the more he's been winning and just rebounding his draft stock. And the energy around this program in this late season run is just undeniable. And I would be terrified to have to line up. But for me, I want to hear your pick. Once we're done with the top 10-10, I'm going with the Hoosiers to win this game and take home the championship. What's next?
My Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman is finally starting to just get on the trail and bring in some big-time players into Notre Dame. Clearly, he's been pissed off about leaving, getting left out of the college football playoff. So he is hitting the road, recruiting any and everybody, already bringing in a top 5 recruiting class. Getting the guy from Alabama, 6'5", 270 edge guy, 5-star in the 2023 class. I'm excited about the Ohio State receiver, Quincy Porter. Listen, if you know any Notre Dame teams, we have not had a guy on the outside for the past few years. And listen, I'm not saying he's Jeremiah Smith, but I'll take any receiver that comes from Ohio State because at this point, when do they not have good receivers? Just anybody tell me when they don't have good receivers. I wasn't too excited about this Colorado corner. I'm not big on Colorado. I think a lot of those guys were overrated, and that team was terrible. So I don't want to take anybody from there. But I do also say this true freshman cornerback from Michigan, listen, he's the man. We need somebody locked down on the outside. Listen, Marcus Freeman, salute. You're starting to really get out there. And granted, we need a few more pieces because we're losing Love. We're going to need one more receiver on the outside, but you're starting to really be angry about getting left out of the college football playoff, and it's looked like we want to go undefeated next year with our bullshit schedule, but you are pulling in the guys, so keep going, because I need, goodness grief, I ain't have a college team in the playoffs, an NFL team in the playoffs. Oh, Houston Rockets saved me this year. But anything, what's next?
Yeah, hey, with college football, there's now rumors of a 16-team college football playoff expansion being pushed with potential to start as early as next season. They're actively talking about this. So to really break it down on what's being talked about, the primary 16-team model would be the 5 conference champions plus 11 at-large bids. So what's really going on behind the scenes? Right now, SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey is on board with it, but Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti, whatever the hell his name is, he is the holdout right now because he wants a future guarantee expansion into 24-team playoffs after like 2 or 3 seasons. It's a core reason for the stalemate. Really the only reason why this hasn't gone through yet, because without any Big Ten and SEC agreement, it will stay at 12 teams. Group of 5 inclusion is a non-negotiable. They will be there. And if I want to break down my perspective real quick, here's my idea for the college football playoffs. Get the current format right first, then do nothing. Leave it, because then it won't be broken. Then you don't need to fix it. And guess what? If it is broke, the last thing you should do is try to throw a bunch of more moving pieces at the problem just to try to fix it. So college football playoffs just continues to prove the whole committee, everything at the top who makes a decision, completely incompetent individuals pulling the strings on one of our nation's greatest sports and pastimes. What's next?
Y'all know, last one, I love my track and field. 18-year-old Jonathan Sims, freshman at the University of Georgia, stormed 44-62 in his debut 400. First 400 of the indoor season, 44-62, which breaks the U20 record in NCAA debut. Goodness grief. And they also had a guy on their team that ended up going 32-1, who was another freshman. It's looking like Georgia got something to say in NCAA track and field. Jonathan Sims was hurt as a senior, so it's glad to see him bounce back and break a U20 record, the first meet of the year. But how fast will he go? Will he run 43 indoor, which is literally insane to even think about? But an 18-year-old guy running 44-62 indoor, they say it's trackflation. Woof, I don't know what it is. But, yep, Jonathan Sims, salute, brother.
My God, just be blessed with,
that's
insane speed. Oh my God, at that age.
And he's tall, long. He can go 800, 400. He can do it all.
Jeez, man, just I miss something in the gene pool wherever these cats are being born from. Again, before I start having children or anything, I'm gonna go try to capture the water in some of these areas. Start drinking a bunch of it.
He's from Texas. Yeah, he's from Texas.
I'm gonna make my. Oh shit, they just produce freaks down there always. Before we really crack into anything, I really want to hear your thoughts on this college football playoff expansion idea that they're throwing around right now.
I mean, listen, Austin. So we've been getting good games now outside of the Indiana and Oregon, which Dan Lanning, I'm telling you now, so people need to start talking about him just being a fraud. But we got good games in the kind of second round. I don't want them to expand. I don't want more games. We want less. We want the best playing the best. I wanted to really go back to just 4. I'm just okay with the 4 teams because these last games are the only ones that's kind of been like, they kind of deserve to be here. And granted, you can't judge Indiana because they're just better than everybody right now. So they're making everybody look like they don't deserve to be here. But Austin, seriously, do you think there's 24 teams in college that you want to see play for a national title? Just be honest.
No. If you look at the top 25, I mean, there's people who float around there. We'll just use the FCS format that they have right now for a 24 team, and there's strengths to it. You never hear about it. Granted, it's the FCS. You never hear about it. But like I said, you can't even get this right. And we've expanded this. There's all these problems. The season is dragging on. You got teams going 3 weeks in between games. Man. We've ruined the point of conference championships. We've ruined the point of doing anything for your schedule, and because everything's just about getting into the playoffs, so now the teams are trying to pull weaker schedules throughout the season.
Yeah.
They've tried so hard to do something in the span that they've been just to keep ruining the sport and the end result in the process. But yeah, I mean, I thought the 4-team thing was great. It was working. We got a little greedy. We wanted more money. We wanted the season go on longer, and then we broke everything in the process.
Yeah, because then y'all gonna drag the season. Listen, I'm just being honest. I kind
Should
of
be
want
over by
college.
now.
I really want college football to be over. I
How's it
love
not?
college football. Been some good games, but no way do I want to see college in NFL playoff. I just don't. I
Yeah.
can't just function like that. I want to think all NFL. So, and I get it. This money is unbelievable, and I guess more money made for college and these universities, the more money the kids can make. But Austin, come on, this is getting watered down now. I mean, I'm being honest. And to come to think, they said Miami shouldn't be there, and they're in the finals. But if you move to 24, no fucking way, no fucking way. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, there's things you could do. Again, you would just kind of have to just rip off the FCS format at that point, where you get your 7 conference, you get your conference champions, or was it the top 5 teams get a bye? The conference champions all get an automatic qualifier, and then everyone's an at-large bid. Essentially, it would just be the rest of the top 25 in a sense.
But I think FCS is a little bit more even through the teams. If you look at it, I think those teams are a little bit more even. The FBS
You know why?
is top heavy.
You know why? Because money hasn't ruined and tainted their sport, because it just doesn't exist like it does in the FBS. So money doesn't. Every time you let money take over and call the shots, which I get it, but tell me a time where money has made these things better. It hasn't. If you just try to throw money at a problem, most of the time, like in college football, you break things and it gets worse. The product becomes worse. This college football should have been over 2 weeks ago.
Man, for real.
Like, what are we doing? And I love college football to death. I could watch it all day, but it should not be going on. So, get back in some things from the top 10 and 10 with that. That Bills game was one thing, Mike. Jaguars were my Super Bowl AFC pick.
Fuck the whole bracket all the way up.
My entire bracket is officially broke now. All I have left is the Seahawks to potentially do it. But hey, man, Trevor Lawrence reverted back into some familiar Trevor Lawrence form in that game. And, the Bills defense, they had themselves a decent game. Parker Washington continues to prove like he is a totally legit asset on that team. But, man, I can't say I'm not happy for Josh Allen. Like, I know I pulled the Jaguars out of my bracket, but the whole time in my heart, I was like, Josh Allen better get there. And I'm happy to see Josh Allen get there. Just a gritty win, man. He is so darn good. And then McVay too with the Rams. That injury to Stafford, did you see it? Sprained his throwing hand, and then I think he went like 2 for 10. And then proceeds to throw, I think Next Gen Stats gave it a 27% chance of completion on the game-winning touchdown. Just a beautiful ball with a sprained-ass hand at like 40 years old. Get this man's jacket sized up. It's all about
and I mean, that's why sometimes I listen to people talk about, he's not really wasn't a Hall of Famer in Detroit. And I'd be like, once again, the dweebs who don't look at football, Matt Stafford can spin it. But before I go there, if Josh Allen, let's just say if Josh Allen was playing in KC and did what Patrick did, would there be any question who the greatest? Are we looking at the greatest quarterback to play football? I'm being honest, and I know he hasn't had the teams, he hasn't had the receivers. But the shit that this guy can do on the field, I'm talking about on the back foot, throw a 40-yard on the dime to Brandon Cooks in the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
In the clutch. And I've been told you it's hard for me to bet against that guy because he's just different, man. And he kind of looked tired in the face after it, so I know it kind of exerted a lot, man. But I'm not lying. That guy got every... And, he's like, that's why I see Caleb Williams being better because he wasn't as accurate his first couple of years when he first came in the league. But I mean, Josh Allen is just fucking
The freak.
unbelievable. I mean, you can't tell me anybody's just more skilled than him.
I don't know when I would have changed over, but if you're telling me to start my team with Josh Allen or Mahomes, putting my Josh Allen bias to the side, I'm taking Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I'm taking the overall skill set. The guy is massive. He's an incredible runner. He's got the strongest arm in the sport. He can just lace it 100 yards. And I think Mahomes is edge on him. Mahomes probably has a slightly higher like IQ and reading defenses. That's where he seems to be really strong, and he's taken advantage of Andy Reid as his coach. And he's got like there's some mental stuff that I think Mahomes definitely has the edge on. I think Mahomes can make some more just ridiculous in tight window throws, but overall, whole things considered, I think I take Josh Allen over Mahomes, and that's like I'll even throw out this season. If you want to count out this season, I'll still take Josh Allen over Mahomes if you throw out this year for Mahomes and Josh Allen. I'll throw it out.
Josh Allen had Andy Reid. It wouldn't be close. Because I still
you have as many Super Bowls.
That's what I'm saying. I think their offense is still kind of shitty just off the offensive coaches. But even though they dialed some shit up, though, that one
Joe Brady earned some keep.
Man,
he earned some keep.
He when he did the little fake screen where the tight end went here and then they did like the wheel behind it, I was like, oh, that was a great play call. But Josh Allen is different. That's why I say it was hard for me to ever go against him. Even though I do think Jacksonville is going to be good in the future.
Oh yeah,
that defense is
they're here to stay.
A biter. I mean, they won't let him cook at all. So that defense is monsters. And like I said, that's like my second time watching them this year. That defense cooked. I ain't gonna lie to you. So, but Trevor Lawrence.
What did we say? What did I say? I said I want to see this playoff game to really judge, is Trevor Lawrence here? Has he broken his mold? And he reverted back to his normal mold that we've seen his whole career. Yes, I would say his ceiling has been unlocked. And I would agree we're seeing a lot of it. But until I see the playoff success and that ceiling come out in the playoffs, it's just still going to be so hard for me to really buy in. I'm going to go into next season more bought into Trevor Lawrence for sure, especially with a year under Liam Cohen's offense. They're going to add more to that offense. They're only going to get better and, more cohesive as an entire unit. They might lose Anthony Campanelli, their defensive coordinator, for one season. They might lose him, this coaching. He might be gone already. Their defense was that impressive and that incredible, and that might hurt them. But this is why I wasn't ready to totally buy into Trevor Lawrence until I see that ceiling in the playoffs. I was going to be hesitant. That last throw, that game-winning drive, the interception he threw right off the jump. I mean, he tried to throw it into a really tight spot, and it just didn't quite work out. So, this is why I was waiting to see what happened this one.
But that's why I said I'm not mad at LaFleur too, because they Cohen kind of got cute in that game too. He kind of threw way too much. I mean, ETN was tearing Buffalo up, and he would not run it late. So that's why I say sometimes when I look at coaches run the football, listen, I was banging on the table when we wouldn't run Derrick Henry when we have the lead. Like I told you, I'm with when you get the lead, just hand the ball off, play some defense.
Different. He's not a human in which you can tackle.
I mean, I feel you, but like Trevor Etienne was averaging like 6 yards per carry. Their backup was getting yarded. So I don't understand these coaches. They just fucking trigger happy.
But the coaches, there is one coach, and this will be a point I make on the floor. Kyle Shanahan showed you once again what A-tier coaching looks like. He lost an all-pro middle of the game just to compound the fact that apparently all these electromagnetic waves have torn all his players' muscles apart throughout the season. If you've seen that whole thing that with all that thing that the electromagnetic station that's right next to the stadium, and there's all this data, how it impacts player muscles. And now everyone's saying that's why the 49ers are always there. It's fascinating how much data is actually behind that. Yeah. People say, oh, it's a conspiracy. It's like, well, there's actually people presenting a ton of information about how it does impact you, that is wild in itself. But anyways, You lose an all-pro difference maker mid-game. Your quarterback's not playing incredible by any means. Brock Purdy, he did some Brock Purdy things, both good and bad. And you still don't have – you have terrible pass rushers off the edge. You don't got Fred Warner. And the offense keeps finding – well, Christian McCaffrey had 2 receiving touchdowns in that one. Demarcus Robinson has 100 yards and a touchdown in that one. Juwan Jennings is throwing a touchdown because he's –
What you say again, Austin? Who had 2 touchdown passes? CMC. He's a smart guy. He knows how to get your best player the ball.
Well, it's the thing. When you have all these injuries and things that should be insurmountable – here's the 49ers. They were playing for the division championship on the final week of the season in the toughest division in NFL history, by all accounts. And here they are playing the reigning champions in the first round. Granted, Eagles are what they are. And then they go out there and take care of business with losing another of their best players in the middle of the game. That usually throws you off in a big way. That changes a lot of things. And then it just they continue to roll. This is what A-tier coaching looks like. Kyle Shanahan is what being a big dog who can piss in the tall grass looks like. And that's why we can get into the Packers. I get so frustrated with Matt LaFleur because while Shanahan is out there proving time and time again what A-tier coaching looked like, Matt LaFleur's out here coaching and showing you what B-tier coaching looks like and what B-tier coaching results and rewards look like. I can go crazy on this.
But that's why I say I think Kyle Shanahan gets too much. But he gets too much credit. No. I can't let you do Matt LaFleur like that. No.
Oh man.
Kyle Shanahan has not won anything. He's blown a lot of leads and lost a lot of games. Now, granted, I do think he's getting a lot out of less this year, but he's just simplified it by saying, let's get our best player the ball. We're going to hand it to him. We're going to throw it to him. We're going to find a way to get CMC the ball. You take CMC off that team, they're not good. Now, granted, I do think y'all need a CMC. Y'all don't have that yet. But I can't let you think Kyle Shanahan is not light years ahead of Matt LaFleur. Not to me. Not to me.
One player, one coach is one of the most dominant teams in football with more than insurmountable injuries. The other coach loses 2 players and can't win a single ball game since he lost Michael Parsons. There's difference to this. The Packers can't use injuries as an excuse because of what the 49ers are doing. And again,
but how many years when the 49ers had the best roster and didn't win it all?
That's true.
A few years ago, they had fucking everybody and couldn't win. I just think Matt LaFleur needs a little bail. I just think he needs a little bail because it's a few moments in that game. I'm just telling you, players, and as much as you say, and I want to say this because this ain't got nothing to do with the game, I think NFL should just get rid of kicking. I don't like it. No, seriously, Austin, I don't like that field goal.
I'm all with you. Trust me.
Determines games. I don't like that shit. I think they should get rid of kickers. They're the worst athletes. They're in the NFL stealing. They don't do shit all year. They don't lift. They don't do none of the offseason training. And then when you fuckers can't do your job, you blow it for everybody else. I don't like kick. And he wasn't the only one. It's a few kickers this playoffs that I'm like, man, they should get rid of fucking kicking because
especially tough when the winds are getting so crazy in January, and then you're expecting these kickers to play God and be like almost like a sniper who's shooting something from 100 yards away, where you got to aim your shot like 10 clicks to the right and hope the wind carries it right to the headshot. Like that's challenging as all hell, but the fact that it's stuff like that dictates outcomes of playoff games,
fucking hate it. That
is kind of shit.
I hate it. Mm-hmm. Y'all boys was balling offense, defense, and then and much as you say, the kicker blew it. I mean, he blew it, Austin. He blew it.
I am convinced the Packers sold their soul in 2010 to win a Super Bowl. Damn. And the cost of that soul selling was your special teams is going to cost you in the playoffs in the biggest game for the rest of your franchise's history. And you are going to sustain injuries to your most crucial players in the playoffs or right before it. And it's going to hurt you so bad that you can't recover. Because both of those things have happened ever since the Super Bowl, almost on a routine basis, on a yearly basis. There's a curse hanging over this franchise that no matter who is coach, no matter who is on the team, The same problems are still the same problems 15, 16 years after the Super Bowl win. It should be impossible. It should be impossible for your special teams to blow it every single postseason. On cue, everyone, I was sitting next to my buddy. When Brandon McManus missed that first field goal, I looked at him and was like, we're going to lose this game, and we're going to lose it by like 3 points. And look at what happened. We missed 7 points worth of field goals. And what was the score of that ball game? What was the score of that ball game? We both looked at each other like, well, I know what's happening. That first drive of the second half, when we came out and ran it up the middle, got no yards, and we punted in 45 seconds, I was like, oh boy, we've seen this one before. Matt's about to shrivel up. He's about to go as conservative as humanly possible to just try to burn all the clock and hope that, well, if we don't score again, hopefully we just don't let them score and we can hold this lead and maybe score one more touchdown the rest of the game and win it. And this is what happens all the time with him. And I compared it to a business. This was year 7 with Matt LaFleur. And anyone who's seen my content on Twitter or the newsletter is going to be sick of hearing this. But think of this shit as a business, man. If your business does not continue to have improved year-end results year over year, you are considered a failing business. You get rid of your CEO. You get rid of people. Matt LaFleur in 7 years has done nothing but regress at the end of the end of season results have continuously regressed, right? Now we're to the point of we're not even winning wild card games that we're only getting into because of a 7th seed that was created before Matt LaFleur was even coach, or right after Matt LaFleur became coach for the Packers. And so he hasn't won shit in the playoffs in so long, like meaningfully. He beat the Dallas thing, but like other than that, the results, you're not getting out of the first round. So if in a business term, year 8, this is bad business to continue. What business would keep their CEO around for their 8th year after they don't produce measurable business outcomes?
I mean, you make sense.
That is my problem, because in the real world, in the real corporate world that the rest of us have to live in, that CEO is fired. That coach should have been fired years ago, because that's how it works in the real world. And that's why it's so frustrating that they're going to bring his ass back, right? He coached that game. The clock management was again a problem. And again, that first drive, then what we saw all quarter, the Packers didn't have a single first down like all third quarter. And so it just became a numbers game. You just kept giving the Bears the ball time after time after time after time. Eventually, when your defense is just running back on the field 10 seconds after they just got off, yeah, they're going to start scoring because your defense is gassed. Not to mention your star player, Edgerrin Cooper's out there balling. He gets hurt. You got Keyshawn Nixon, most useless freaking player on this team, causing an unnecessary penalty, and then made a business decision at the end of the game to let DeAndre Swift fall into the end zone when you could have gone in for a punch-it-out play to not let him score the game-winning touchdown. His ass is gone. There's so many things I could say on this. Really, I could go on, but I think the problem here is, and the Bears didn't play like any great type of offense. It wasn't bad. Caleb Williams, and I will say, and this one hurts me to say, that one throw he made out, I think it was to DJ Moore, something towards the sideline that he dropped it in between 4 Packers receivers as he's getting hit.
That was in down. The Rome Medusa.
Oh, it was Rome.
Rolling to the left. And that was on 4th and 8.
Yep, and I was like that was a special throw right there. Holy crap. But again, nothing great out of the Bears offense all night. Yeah. It just became a sheer numbers game that the Packers weren't holding on to the ball because all they would do is run up the middle on first down, go nowhere. And people always talk about how Matt LaFleur changes his play calling with a lead, and it's noticeably bad and worse. So in the first half, it was pretty even split, under center, shotgun. And what was killing the Bears in the first half? Those under center plays were killing the Bears. What do we do in the second half? We call next to 0 under center plays. We go almost entirely out of shotgun. We start running up the middle every single time. I think the Packers' best first down run in the second half was 2 yards or 3 yards. Otherwise, it was a bunch of 0 yards. And then it would take Jordan Love on 3rd down or 4th down to go make a great pass just to come back on 1st down to either run it up the middle or do a bubble screen. This is what I'm telling in terms of the play calling and how conservative he gets and how much he just shrinks down everything. Instead of having a killer instinct and try to put his problem is he doesn't put the foot on your throat.
But when the game was on the line, your boy Reed made a couple.
Drop the ball.
And I'm gonna tell you though, you've been banging on the table all year for Golden. Listen, hey,
How
you've
about
been
it?
saying it. Listen, the kid made some plays where I was like,
Ballin'.
oh, Austin been talking about him all year, and that one jump where he jumped over somebody and spent out. I said, Austin been talking about that all year, been banging on the table. Hey, let's get this guy involved. But Jaden Reed dropped one. Romeo Dobbs played well too, but I just Austin, I just, sometimes I just look at the coaching and say, yes, I get it. But it was some opportunities that some players really like. It just didn't. Like you telling me, like I look at Nixon. Like, why you jumping on the pile, getting just frivolous fucking penalties for no apparent reason? Stuff like that bothers me because the offense ain't doing shit. And here you go, just being a dickhead. You're not even. What are you doing? So I mean, I don't know, and I get you. You broke it down to the business. Hey, after 6 years, if you're not making me no money, I probably would have got rid of you. I just think let him run him back with these young receivers, the core he got. Let Micah Parsons let him have Micah Parsons in the playoffs. I mean, come on, let's be clear. People need their superstars, so just give him one more with his superstars, the young people back. See what he do. I think he's a good play caller, but I don't blame him why he gets not aggressive.
It's not that he's a terrible play caller, a bad play caller. It's just he's an extremely inconsistent one, and he becomes extremely, extremely predictable. The Packers in the second half did not pass until they needed to pass. And that became a problem, an evident problem. The play calling and the look of the offense, and this is a Matt LaFleur special, has been ever since. And this is the other problem with LaFleur. The same problems that were a problem with him in year 1 are still a problem in year 7. And this is why I am out of making fucking excuses for this guy, because his problems aren't getting solved. They ain't getting righted. He ain't changing. He ain't progressing. You're actually only regressing at the end of the season in terms of your end of year results. And banking on Keyshawn Nixon, big mistake. Rasheed Walker, left tackle, dropped. He sucked. Yeah. The offensive line did not take care of business in the second half, and it cost the Packers dearly. And so I'm not trying to put it all on LaFleur. And yes, LaFleur has been there and battled through, transitioning away from Aaron Rodgers on the Jordan Love, winning a bunch of games with the youngest team in football, Love's first year, spanking the Cowboys in the playoffs. Like, there's a lot of great
Love
things.
Is good. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's one thing that y'all were right on. And maybe I get you too, because why not let him throw 50 times a game when he's playing like he's playing? He was dropping some shit. Jordan Love's going to be good for the future. He's a good quarterback. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He finished his season officially as a top 5 graded out quarterback the entire season. So I mean, look, man, again, but this is the thing. The quarterback was awesome, and the Packers lost. It's a movie we have now seen for 20 straight freaking years with this franchise. And, I just, even if it wasn't all on LaFleur, it was very evident that he had a big part to do with it. And he was pretty sure bet to get an extension, barring the most epic type of playoff collapse that he was evidently a contributor to. And that's exactly what happened. And now, they're still talking about giving him an extension. And my other problem is, look at through the course of NFL history, you can count on, you don't even need one full hand to count the amount of coaches who have made their first Super Bowl with a team after year 5. And the ones who have, LaFleur is not even on pissing distance of their level, have done it. And so that's where I'm like, you're playing what is historically, he would enter one of one tier in NFL history if he were to now make the Super Bowl with the Packers. And I'm just being honest and real. Let's be honest and real for a second here. It ain't gonna happen. And I think he's gonna be back. And I think what has to happen is, one, Rich Bisaccia is fired, the special teams coach. That's no doubt about it. Brandon McManus is cut. Keyshawn Nixon is cut. Quay Walker is not coming back. Rasheed Walker, left tackle, he's gone. There's going to be a lot of change. Adam Senovich, OC, I believe he's gone. And the right thing for the Packers to do is get an OC who can call plays, a McDaniel, someone. And I would love to see a McDaniel or Brian Dable come in and call plays for this team. Or not call plays, but be an OC who knows how to call plays. Be a new voice in that room that can maybe help change the way you think. Because Stenovich, their current OC, adds no value with play calling. And when things are going south, there's no voice besides LaFleur shitting the bed and pissing down his legs, and things just keep getting worse and worse and worse and spiral out of control. It's happened too often under his tenure. He gets out-coached too often no matter who is on the headset on the other side.
But is there anybody out there where you just say, I want him as a coach?
Here's the thing I was going to say. Here's the thing I was going to say about the odds of him making the playoffs or making the Super Bowl at this point. You almost have a better chance than LaFleur if you go and get someone new, even if it's not a Ben Johnson guy. Right? If you compare the right coach with the right OC, and I know it takes so much to go right and you have to get the guy, so it's a big, big, big risk. And that's why I was like, well, ultimately, you sit back, you let LaFleur be the head coach, but he needs to swallow his damn pride. He needs to go get another guy who knows how to call plays and has called plays before to come in that room, be a fresh voice, offer fresh perspective. Worst case, things go really south, and you got another guy who can come in and just be your play caller, right? If things don't fix out, iron out. And then, hopefully Jeff Hafley is still around to run it back. Micah Parsons seems very confident Hafley's not going anywhere. And here's the other thing that just as a Packers fan just makes my blood boil about Matt LaFleur. His post-game press conferences, and every Packer fan knows the post-game presser with LaFleur are the most pathetic cuckold things in this world. He is out there in his presser giving all the credit in the world to Ben Johnson and the Bears for making adjustments and admitting, yep, hey, Ben Johnson, great job. They made adjustments. We didn't. Are you shitting me, man?
And you heard Ben Johnson in his locker room. Fuck the Packers. That's what he said. He said, fuck the Packers. I said, and did you see the handshake?
Yeah.
I said, yeah. That's the only thing I did. I looked at and I get it. You got to play the political role. You got to take the high road. But I'm with you. I'd be like, man, we fucking blew it. Fuck them. They didn't do anything that we didn't know they was gonna do, and we blew it. But I mean, he sat squarely in the cuck chair
after that game, and he just took Ben Johnson right in the mouth. And as a Packer fan, it was the most pathetic thing I've ever had to watch in my entire life, and I'm just so sick of it. It's so sick of it. He's a B-tier coach. Until proven otherwise, you are a B-tier coach. And I refuse to put you in an A-tier coach until I see, just give me a playoff win. Give me a damn playoff win. Shoot, that's not even acceptable. You should not be in year 8, and we're hoping for maybe we just get one playoff win, because the calling card for Matt LaFleur has been one and done in the playoffs if he even gets there, if he even wins a game. That is totally unacceptable. And now the one thing I hope they don't do is fire LaFleur and go get John Harbaugh in the room. Now, I would hate that tremendously. And the problem is, and Adam Schefter keeps pushing this John Harbaugh bullshit to the Packers because he's a Midwest guy. He's got ties to Harlan, the Harlan family, who are a staple in the Packers organization. And that terrifies me because I think the stat I pulled was John Harbaugh has one win beyond the wild card round since 2012. And he doesn't call plays. No.
Yeah, I'm with you. Even though he used to run the NFC, like if you look at his record versus the NFC, he used to run that shit. But I'm with you. I don't know and I get John Harbaugh. People look at him as this guy that can run it. Y'all don't need structure. Y'all a good team that got decent structure in the building. Y'all need somebody who's going to come in and, like you say, bring the juice on offense. Bring in an offensive guy that's going to bring the juice. And I don't know why people keep throwing John Harbaugh out there, but I mean, I think y'all going to be good, man. Y'all got some receivers. Y'all young. Yeah, I feel you. You got to get it done. Listen, you know my pain, man. Listen, I was a Cowboy fan. I have not seen one for 30-something years, Austin. So listen, welcome to the club. You only had 8 years with LaFleur.
This club sucks, man. It smells like shit in here. It smells like ass.
I've been in here. I've been in here for the past 30-something years, man. I've been in this club.
And my ultimate, boil it down to nothing issue here is Everyone wants to make excuses for the Packers every year. It was the injuries. It was, oh, this happened. Oh, the special teams. Who's been the common denominator through it all? It's been Matt LaFleur. This is his team. His team fails to get over the hump for 7 straight years. For all the good, yes, you turned over a Hall of Fame quarterback into a young one with the youngest team ever. But the excuses, man, they just keep piling and piling and piling and piling up. Who's the one guy on the sideline who's been steadfast through it all? It's been Matt LaFleur, right? So when you boil it down, I don't want to hear the injuries are a scapegoat, because look at the 49ers and what they were doing. Far worse injury situation.
For sure.
I don't want to hear special teams are the reason they lost, because, again, you're up 21-3. Put your damn foot on their neck. Go up 35-3. Not come out and play the most conservative football ever and lose by death by 1,000 cuts, which has been a Matt LaFleur specialty since he's been here. And that's why everyone is like so over this shit. It's because it's the same thing year after year after year. It's Groundhog Day. You bring back Matt LaFleur, you know what you're getting. You know exactly what's going to happen, because like I said, his problems in year 1 are still problems in year 7. And yes, players dropped the ball and did not do their jobs and failed. But at the same point, you are what you are to an extent. And I'm so freaking sick of it, man. I'm so sick of it. My soul's broken. I'm dead. I went and played laser tag this weekend, and I slaughtered a bunch of 4th graders and 8th graders. I murdered them. Tops of the boards. I don't care how stupid it sounds.
Listen, Austin, it's not going to get better until you get my age. Listen, when I was in my 30s and we lost, I was a dangerous man in public. I couldn't be outside. So I'm glad you got it off by just going some Call of Duty on them at laser, because I used to break shit in my house. So
I told my wife, I need a punch bag around here, man. Otherwise, I need to go laser tag, and all I saw was Matt LaFleur's face on a bunch of 4th graders. And it was the Call of Duty mission where you're in the airport and you just mow down everybody in the airport. That's what it was. It was no holds barred. It was a bloodbath. I feel bad for those kids. I ruined some birthday parties that day. That's all right. All right, let's get into it, because we're running long already, because I had to rant and I had to get off my chest.
Man. You got to, because if not, 365 going to be tough. If you don't get it off, dog, this next year, this next off season is long. Pause. So you got to get it off.
I am just so happy to see Matthew Golden finally get his.
Man, he was balling.
Oh my God! If you see that and you'd be like, we neglected that guy all season for a converted quarterback.
You've been saying the shit all year. That guy can ball. And shit.
He looked like a genuine wide receiver won that game. Every time he got the pass to him, like we've all been saying, it's like, it ain't Matthew Golden that's the problem. It's the fact that they refuse to even put him on the field that's the problem, because when you throw him the ball, the guy just balls out. That touchdown he had, that's as good of a first touchdown in the green and gold that you could ever have imagined and drawn up. Just an incredible, incredible football player. And if he's playing like that as a rookie in the biggest stage after a season where he didn't get any looks practically, and that's what he delivers, this cat's going to be good, man.
That's why I like guys like him, and I hate people like AJ Brown, because you got to think he had even more reason to kind of come out and bitch and complain, not getting the ball, knowing he can do that. He could have bitched and complained, but all he did was stay committed and got his name called in the biggest stage, and he showed out. So I like guys like him. I want to see him be successful, because, like I said, he could have bitched and complained all year. He's probably looking around like, I know I'm better than. If maybe not Watts and the other guys, but he was balling.
He makes you feel a lot better about not bringing back Romeo Doubs next season. There's a clear Romeo's good. And I love Romeo Doubs, don't get me wrong, but you ain't going to miss him if that's the type of play you're getting from Matthew Golden, put it lightly. Let's stay with the Eagles really quick, because they're in chaos. That offense is in shambles right now. It has been all season, and this playoff game, again, a culmination of all the hits of things that could go wrong did go wrong, and we got to get into it quickly. Is Jalen Hurts, Nick Caley, or A.J. Brown a bigger nightmare holding back the Eagles' offense? And before we get into it, LaShawn McCoy today, former Eagles running back, he went full snitch mode. He exposed Jalen Hurts. And whether this is true or not, LaShawn McCoy came out and said, I did a lot of digging. I know some people, and the problem is we can't do different exotic looks, different formations, different motions, because I'm hearing that Jalen Hurts can't really do it. So that's what he said. I'm on the ship of Nick Caley is the big problem here. A.J. Brown's got to go. You got to get rid of that toxic cloud. You got to have that divorce. But as much as I don't think Jalen Hurts is a good passer, After watching that game, I'm on this is a Nick Caley problem. He's got to go.
Big. I mean, and listen, LaShawn McCoy is not saying anything that anybody with eyes hasn't been saying. When you talk about Jalen Hurts, all they say, oh, he's a winner. You know, he got the intangibles. Nobody's ever said he was Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. And with you mess up when you don't have an OC who can't find ways to make what he does do well look good. I mean, that offensive coordinator, you talking about fourth down, you run 4 verts. First and foremost, to me, Saquon Barkley is the best offensive player on that team. For him not to be somewhere in a pattern or somewhere where Jalen Hurts can get him the ball if everything else fails, to me is just, but I also, that's on Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts could have gotten that huddle and said, 4 verts? What the fuck are we doing? Nah, we doing something else. So LaShawn McCoy is kind of exposing that Jalen Hurts is not the guy. But guess who said that from game 1? Yeah. I've been saying this shit. He's not it. And I know they won a Super Bowl. They have the best fucking roster in the world. But he's not that guy. But I do think A.J. Brown got to go. I don't like prima donnas. I played receiver in college. I don't like prima donnas. I never bitched them to play, but now part of it is because I played quarterback in high school, so I kind of understand the marriage. But if you going to bitch about your quarterback, you going to bitch about your offense. When the time come, you got a ball.
How many times are you going to publicly try to fight your coach before enough is enough and you got to go, pal? You are not a culture fit. You are clearly a problem holding back this offense. And then we try to force feed you the football to wipe your tears dry. And all you do is drop the passes. And meanwhile, while we're doing that, it throws off our whole offense because now we're trying to force feed you to make you happy. Bro, I mean, that once cherished wide receiver that they got with him, that beautiful marriage that it looked like it was going to be for a long time, it seems like that thing's they got a divorce. Whatever you do, you got to get him off of your football team. This is not it. You cannot have a player who continuously is in public disgruntled and fighting with your coach. That is a problem. That should never be happening. And it's happened numerous times with A.J. Brown and Sirianni publicly. So he's got to go. But yeah, this one for me was big on Nick Caley. And I don't think Jalen Hurts by any means special, but if it wasn't like poorly timed RPOs, it was the empty out routes that they always try to mix these into every game. Like it's they're a one-hit wonder band where every show they have, you know that they're going to play that one song and you know when it's coming so they can get that pop. And the fact that they were doing that, the Niners knew when it was coming. And then what I saw online is a lot of people started calling out, like, we're running all these repeated plays, like the 4 verts. They ran the same iteration of 4 verts 3 times on the final drive. And that wasn't even the only play that they were visibly running and calling the same thing.
Yeah, but that's and like I said, that's on Jalen Hurts. And he doesn't run as much as he used to anymore, too. Yeah. I think him taking that out of his game, and granted, I get he hear us say, hey, we don't think he's the best quarterback. So maybe he's trying to prove he's this pocket guy, but like in high school, I would change the play when I didn't like it. So I don't understand why an NFL guy won't just say, hey, let's do something different. But listen, I've been saying it. I'm a tweet goddamn Eagle Shirley tomorrow. Like, hey, is this the same guy you said is better? I bet you she would give her left nipple for Dak Prescott. She can talk her Facebook. She would want Dak Prescott right now. No way she wants fucking Jalen Hurts.
I mean, and to Shady McCoy's point here, if you're watching the game and you're watching them trying to change plays and audible at the line of scrimmage, they're burning the clock down to nothing. Everyone's like, what's all this? Jalen Hurts cannot manage the line of scrimmage. It was so noticeably bad. It was a shit show up there. So yes, he definitely lacks core competencies of a great quarterback. No doubt about it. You can win with him, but he's never going to be the reason why you're winning the biggest game. There's a difference. There's a difference between winning with him and him being the reason why. Jalen Hurts is not the one elevating the Eagles offense. Very rarely has he been, and especially this season, he certainly wasn't. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of it on the Eagles. Let's go over to the Justin Herbert struggles real quick. So Justin Herbert, again, if you want, people are going to try to blame him in the playoffs for the loss, but is the Chargers problem Justin Herbert, or what's the other problem? Is it Greg Roman? Is it the offensive line? Are we still believing in Justin Herbert?
Austin, we can't keep running away from this, man. And I know everybody loves this guy. You always hear, oh, he's 6'6" and golden arm, and he looked like some shit. He ain't had his tackles all year. I don't want to hear when you get in the playoffs, I don't have my tackles. This person is hurt. Everybody is dealing with injuries. This is the NFL. This is everybody's line. Because when you go best on best at nobody's line is just going to be dominant the whole game. Justin Herbert looked like some shit. He lost to a second-year quarterback. He lost to Trevor Lawrence in the playoffs. Let's be clear. We say Trevor Lawrence ain't been living up. Guess who he beat in the playoff? Fucking Justin Herbert. It's about time that he takes the bull by the horn and either you barbecue or mildew. And I'm tired of people giving him excuses because he looked like some shit. He looked bad.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Where I'm going to come to Justin Herbert's defense a little bit. This is not to get away that he choked, and it was awful. The Patriots got after his ass, and he couldn't make it happen. This Chargers season, again, you lose Joel, you lose Slater, you're bookend all pro tackles, right? Last year, really banged up offensive line. This year, it somehow got even more banged up and even worse off. And that's a huge problem. And to that, I think this Chargers season was more of a minor miracle that they even made the playoffs to begin with. When you got we always know you need a good offensive line to win in the playoffs. And they have the worst offensive line in football, arguably. So the fact that they even made the playoffs is a testament. Maybe that's because they got a terrible Chiefs this year, a terrible Raiders this year. But for Herbert, it's going to be difficult to keep making excuses. Now, 0-3 with 7 turnovers, only 2 touchdown passes. But he dragged, man, a structurally dysfunctional offense and broken offensive line into January. When you think about it, like every fan out there that I've seen talk about Greg Roman, it's in a negative light. They can't stand what the offense is doing. And I think it's slightly a testament to Herbert's ceiling, right? That he dragged what we saw to the playoffs. But clock is ticking for him to take that next step now. And where I think there's at least good news, if you're a Chargers fan here, is you get back to all-pro offensive linemen next year. You have all the cap space in the world to do a bunch of stuff for your roster. You have a strong foundation of pass catchers with McConkey. Quentin Johnson took a big step. Gadsden looked like a really nice tight end. Whether Keenan Allen's there or not is fine. You got Trey Harris, the rookie receiver. And then you have an extremely dynamic running back in Omarion Hampton, who is, when he was healthy, he looks so damn good. And on the other side of the ball, they got stars at every single level. Tolopolotu and Khalil Mack up front. Even without Mack, you got Tolopolotu, who's really nice. Henley, the middle linebacker, really good player. Dante Jackson, great player, great corner pickup for them. You got Derwin. You got stars at every level on your defense. So they have a very strong foundation. But next year, man, that team stays healthy and they get into the playoffs in a pretty good shape. Oh, they better win a damn game. Or Justin Herbert, you're not going to be able to bat away the narrative.
Because we can't keep with Dak, they said, with Lamar, they said. I mean, with everybody, they can't keep giving this guy all these excuses, man. You got Jim Harbaugh, you got your coach, and Greg Roman literally must got like some secret files on the Harbaugh brothers, because clearly they both like this guy for some odd reason, and he's been terrible. Let's be clear, he's been terrible, but the brothers love this guy or something. He must got the pictures or something that they did, but.
He knows someone's on the Epstein file.
Yeah, I gotta see Justin. Listen, no more, like you said, if you're in the business 6 years and you ain't made no money, now we can't hold on to this seat. Listen, he got the big contract, he got the coach, he got the players. Hey, now. He's losing to guys who got drafted after him, who they're saying he's better than. So I can't give him no more excuses. I'm being honest. So
Yeah, I am very curious to see how it plays out next season. It's going to be. It was like for Herbert next year. It's going to be like Love this year. It's like, buddy, you better prove it to us this year that, or we're going to have a real conversation here. All right, last up on the list is Carolina. Are the Carolina Panthers here to stay after they made a big statement in that Rams game? Right, they won the first time in the regular season, and then they damn near beat them again in the playoffs. With that, obviously they didn't pull through at the end there, but I guess more so. Are they here to stay? More so, are the Panthers primed to be the top team out of the NFC South next season? Obviously, the Falcons took a step back after looking strong. Tyler Shuck and the Saints looking real nice. Like, there's a lot of potential with the Saints and the Buccaneers, man, as long as Todd Bowles is the coach, and they haven't figured out their OC yet, and I don't know what's exactly going to happen there. I don't know. I think I like the Panthers' momentum. I think they're carrying some good stuff, and I think I could see it playing out where it's the Panthers Saints battling for the NFC South next year. Where are you kind of at with it?
So every year a playoff team don't make the playoff the next year, and if I had to put in the bet right now, it's gonna be Carolina. I also think they kind of got away from like Rico Dowd. He was kind of absent at the end of the year. I didn't see much of him, and I think Bryce Young has spurts where I look at him and be like, man, this guy's going to be elite. But he just leaves something in me to say he's not the quite curl of Jerry Curl. I don't know. It's something about him that says I'm elite. So I feel like they're going to need somebody else under center. Hell of a coach, though. I think he's doing a lot with less. But no, I think they're going to go back some more next year because people are going to see them coming now. People see them coming now. So I think when they start seeing teams like that coming, I think Carolina Panthers about to go back for 8 more years not making the playoffs.
Oh, interesting. Well, what you said about the coach, I think Dave Canales is the guy with him. He's been really, really good. The Panthers have been flying under the radar since he's got there. He's made this team better each year he's been there. They seem to have found like an identity. They're playing really well. It's like with Ben Johnson in Chicago. There's a newfound identity. There's a rejuvenation in that locker room, in that organization. And yes, Bryce Young, not a perfect quarterback by any means. And because he has his ceiling is really capped because he's a small dude and he's got kind of a noodle arm. He does not have a strong arm by any sense of the imagination, but where he's not perfect, I will give him that he has continuously improved. And that's what I can at least appreciate about his game. So he had more wins this year than both of his first 2 seasons combined. So testament to him, Dave Canales, the roster around him. But also now he has improved his completion percentage, his passer rating, and the percentage of sacks he's taken in each of his first 3 seasons. So with a guy like him, you want to see these incremental wins continue to stack up. And while I don't think he's got I will never sit here and say Bryce Young has an MVP ceiling. He does not. I would say he has a top 10 to 12 ceiling, maybe. In his best years. But here's why.
That's generous.
But here's why. Because of look at what's around him. Rico Dowdle, you can run that back with him, feel really good about it. If you keep Hubbard there too, that's a real nice 1-2 punch you got in the backfield. Obviously, everyone talks about Tet McMillan out there, but Jalen Coker, my friend, this guy, an undrafted free agent, might be he's blossoming into a legitimate wide receiver 2 dog in this league. And if you watch that game, right, he had 9 catches, 134 yards, a big, big touchdown. And he was doing it when he's healthy, man. He was doing it. I found a couple of stats that I know you're not big on the stats guy, but I am. I love seeing stats. I love seeing how dudes stack up next to each other. And a couple of things I want to call with Jalen Coker is a percentage of his targets that he turned into a reception, 76.7%, is better than Jamar Chase, is better than Jackson Smith-Njigba, is right below Puka. The passer rating when targeted for Jalen Coker is 117.8. That's better than Jamar Chase, and that's right below Smith-Njigba, a couple points off of Puka. Contested catch rate, this is where it gets crazy with Jalen Coker, right? 87.5% contested catch rate. That's better than Puka, who catches everything in contested. Puka's obviously got way more contested catch targets, let's be honest here. Jamar Chase and Smith-Njigba as well. So while those guys have a higher volume of them, Jalen Coker also has 0 drops in his career so far. 0.
Which is big.
which is big. We're talking about an undrafted free agent here that has 0 drops and has already blossomed into a legitimate wide receiver
Listen,
2 threat.
Austin, I love that he's shining in the NFL. He's the one who's grabbed the bull by the horn.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not get overboard. We can't compare him to Puka and them.
No, we're not.
I know. I love his story. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
I love that he's undrafted. But I don't even want to put him in the same sentence with those guys you just did. Come on, Austin.
I get it, but again, and it's one of those guys. It's one of those guys. If you want to get away from the stats, then just go watch him play.
No, he can ball. He can ball.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
he's not even in sniffing distance of that echelon of receiver. But I'm saying we can't sit here and act like he doesn't have legitimate numbers
for sure.
That you put him up a full season. It's like Christian Watson. You had a whole season of this. We're talking about a guy that every team is going to want on their team type of guy. Sure. If you get a full season of it. And obviously it's an amazing story with Jalen Coker. He's got to be one of the most, already one of the best undrafted free agent guys in a long, long time. Can you think of anything more? Obviously Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, but he got drafted. Yeah. Donald Driver.
He's probably one of the best. I know Ryan Clark was undrafted, but he was a defensive back. So I'm trying to think of a receiver that was undrafted. That's going to be this doing what he's doing. That's going to be hard. That's something I'm going to have to think on.
Honestly, I think
anything coming up, who's the best undrafted receiver ever?
I'm a Packer fan. The only guy I can think of is Donald Driver, but he was a 7th round pick. So even that, that's what I'm saying, man. It's a great story.
Yeah, it is a great story.
He's putting up legitimate dog numbers. So that's where I'm why I can see it working for the Panthers and why I think the Panthers will win next year and be back in the playoffs is because they got the coach. They found an identity. Bryce Young has been really, really good in the clutch. He makes some big, obviously he had a game they had that scoring drive with 4 minutes left in the game where he would charge him down the field again. He's been so good leading game-winning drives. And then you got Ted McMillan, who was, 1 or 2 for Rookie of the Year, him and Chuck. You got Jalen Coker, who's proven that's going to be a legit, has all the potential and trajectory to be a legit wide receiver 2 guy in the NFL.
It was Sam Wes Welker, and I would say
that's a good one.
But I would say Coker's better than Wes Welker. So if I had to go off the eye test, not stats, because Wes Welker put up some stats, but he also had Tom Brady. But the eye test and Antonio Gates, who's the tight end. So I guess
dogs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why. And again, they got good players. Derek Brown is one of the most disruptive defensive tackles you'll ever see. They got players all around. They're only going to keep stacking up. And I believe that Dave Canales is the right coach to continue leading this charge.
He's a real good coach. I just think some of these NFC teams are going to be better next year. I think Washington will be better. I think that surprisingly, I think Dallas is going to be better next year. So we'll see. We'll see.
I think they're ahead of the Saints. I really like where the Saints are going. I think the Panthers are ahead of the Saints. I think the Falcons got a lot of soul searching to do. They got talent, but
we got to see who they bring in as the coach. We got to see what coach come in. So,
they got. Obviously Matt Ryan's up there in the front office now, but so I think, and then the Buccaneers, I think they have so much.
Yeah, I think they're done. They're old. They're done.
They have so. Obviously, if Mike Evans is back, he probably won't be the same. Chris Godwin, I sat next to dude on an airplane, so I'm always going to be a Chris Godwin fan. When I left the combine, I was next to him on the plane. He ate 2 bags of Chick-fil-A on the plane. Big motherfucker. So I'm always going to be a Chris Godwin fan, but he can't stay healthy to save his life. So now it's you need Ibuka. Kate Otton's a mid-tier tight end. Yeah. Bucky Irvin's a great running back. And Baker can win you a lot of games. Baker, I love the attitude and mentality and the way he plays football, but he was bad down the stretch. So for me, I was I again think the NFC South is going to be super mid next year, where again, that's why I'm I see the Panthers, it feels like they've inched their way ahead of everyone. And then, yes, did they lose a home playoff game? Yeah. But the fans and that team walked away from this season. It was a massive, massive win for them. This season was a huge win. They proved that they belong in these big moments, playing that type of game against the Rams, against Sean McVay, and a possible MVP with weapons everywhere, and you barely lose. man, that's just
No,
gritty
I'm with
good
you.
football.
I think they'll be decent. I'm just waiting to see who Atlanta hire because I think
Yeah.
that roster is legit roster.
Oh, yeah.
If they can get the quarterback position right. So I'm going to just wait and see who Atlanta hire and then go from there.
That's fair. Nope, that's fair. No, that's why we had the conversation. All right, Iman, anything else that you want to cover before we wrap this up today?
Listen, hey, Austin, Cancun on 3, Cancun on me. One well, I hate it had to be you, but I needed some company over here on this couch in Cancun, brother. So hey, come on home.
we'll cheers the pina colada. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Chalk Talk Social. Per usual, we will see you on Friday before another big weekend of football coming at you. Until then, we'll see.